ever wish you could learn by actually doing things, not just reading about them?
Yeah.
What if you could like conduct a chemistry experiment in
Right.
a virtual lab?
Yeah.
Or dissect a human heart in 3D
Okay.
without needing a scalpel or,
Oh, wow.
well, an actual heart.
Yeah.
That's the kind of learning revolution EON Reality is proposing.
Ah.
And today, we're diving deep into their plan to transform education in India
Okay.
with VR and AR.
It's a bold vision, that's for sure.
Yeah,
And they've laid it all out
they have.
in this white paper
Uh-huh.
called Reimagining Indian Education, a strategic roadmap for immersive VR integration.
Oh, wait, before we get too far,
Sure.
for those who need a quick explainer,
Yeah.
VR is like stepping into a whole new world through a headset.
Right.
Well, AR adds cool digital elements to the real world around you.
Right?
Imagine seeing historical figures walk through your classroom.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty wild, right?
Exactly. And EON Reality is betting big on both technologies
Okay.
to solve some major challenges in Indian education.
Like what?
From a shortage of skilled workers
Hmm.
to limited access to quality learning in some areas.
Okay, so we're going to unpack this white paper together
All right.
and see if EON's plan is truly revolutionary
Okay.
or just hype.
Right.
Now, one thing that jumped out at me is
Yeah,
how
yeah.
they're not just talking about throwing headsets
Uh-huh.
into random classrooms.
Right.
They've got this whole segmented approach.
Yes, and that's smart
Oh.
because India's educational landscape is incredibly diverse.
Okay.
You have students prepping for super competitive exams
Mm-hmm.
to get into top universities,
Okay.
a massive network of vocational training centers,
Mm-hmm.
and a huge population that needs alternative paths
Right.
to education and jobs.
So they're looking at it from all angles.
They are.
That's good.
Yeah.
They're even talking about creating micro-universities.
Yes.
This sounds promising. But how would these micro-universities actually work?
Well, think of them as
Okay.
hyper-focused programs
Uh-huh.
where you'd learn specific
Yeah.
in-demand skills
All right.
using VR and AR.
Right.
You could earn certifications
Okay.
that directly align with what industries are looking for and potentially land a job much faster
Oh, wow.
than through traditional routes.
So you're saying it's...
Imagine becoming a skilled solar panel technician
Okay.
or a 3D printing expert
Yeah.
in a fraction of the time it takes now.
Okay, that's starting to make sense.
Right?
But wouldn't that require a lot of buy-in
Absolutely.
from companies and the government?
EON Reality knows they can't do this alone.
Okay.
They're emphasizing partnerships
Uh-huh.
with everyone from established edtech giants
Oh, okay.
like Physics Walla
Yeah.
to government organizations
Mm-hmm.
like the National Skill Development Corporation.
Hold on, remind me, what exactly does the NSDC do?
Think of them as a giant network, connecting people who need specific job skills
Right.
with the training to get them.
Okay.
They've got over 40,000 training centers
Wow.
across India.
That's a lot of potential reach.
It is.
So is EON Reality saying they want to put VR headsets
That's part of their vision.
in all those centers?
Yes. They argue that integrating VR and AR
Uh-huh.
into these training programs could dramatically increase
Yeah.
the speed and effectiveness of skill development.
But wouldn't that be incredibly expensive?
That's a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
But EON Reality stresses that their approach will be data-driven.
What do you mean?
They want to pilot these programs,
Uh-huh.
gather evidence to prove they actually work,
Uh-huh.
and then scale up gradually.
Data-driven results sound good in theory.
Right.
But what if the data shows VR isn't as effective as they claim?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
The white paper doesn't delve into specific backup plans, but they do emphasize flexibility
Okay.
and adaptability.
Yeah.
They're open to refining their approach
Right.
based on real-world results.
Okay, so they're not just blindly charging ahead.
Yeah.
They're willing to adjust their strategy
Exactly.
based on what the data tells them.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah,
So it's a flexible plan.
it is.
And it's not just about job training.
No, it's not.
You're also looking at how VR and AR could shake up K-12 education.
Right.
Imagine kids learning history
Yeah,
by virtually visiting ancient Rome
that'd be cool.
or dissecting a frog without actually dissecting a frog.
Okay.
No more dusty textbooks.
Exactly.
Though I bet some students would still prefer to doze off.
Probably.
at the back of a virtual classroom,
Yeah.
even with all the cool visuals.
That's where good teaching
Right.
and instructional design come in.
Yeah.
The technology itself is just a tool.
Right.
It's how it's used that determines its effectiveness.
So are they saying they want to change
That's their long-term goal.
the entire national curriculum to revolve around VR?
They believe immersive learning should be standard practice.
Wow.
And they even propose working with the Insert,
Okay.
the organization responsible for developing school textbooks and curricula.
Wow. That's a huge undertaking.
It is.
So far, this vision sounds pretty amazing. But honestly, I'm wondering if it's all too good to be true.
It's definitely ambitious.
Yeah.
And to be fair,
Okay.
there are potential downsides
Right.
and challenges that we need to explore.
Okay, let's get real then.
Right.
What could go wrong here?
Well, for starters,
Okay.
even if the technology is amazing, there's no guarantee it automatically leads to better learning.
That's true.
And then there's the question of access and equity.
Right.
Not every school or training center
Yeah.
has high-speed internet
Right.
or the budget for fancy headsets.
Yeah, those are all important considerations.
They are.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
I mean, even here in the U.S. Right.
We see huge disparities in technology access between schools in wealthy areas and those in under-resourced communities.
Exactly. And those disparities could easily be magnified in a place like India, where there's already a significant digital divide.
Yeah.
If VR and AR become the new standard for education, we need to make sure it doesn't leave anyone behind.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's not just about having the physical equipment, right?
Yeah.
You also need reliable internet access to run these immersive programs. I can't imagine trying to explore a virtual world with a laggy connection.
Absolutely. Infrastructure is a major hurdle.
Yeah.
EON Reality acknowledges this in their white paper. But they seem to believe that India's rapid technological advancements will eventually address these issues.
So they're banking on the fact that internet access and affordability will improve over time.
It's a gamble.
It is.
But I guess it's a calculated one.
I think so.
And there's another potential challenge that we haven't touched on yet. What about the quality of the content? Just because something is in VR or AR doesn't automatically make it good for learning.
That's true.
I've tried some VR experiences that were visually stunning, but ultimately kind of shallow.
Yeah.
They were more about entertainment than actual learning.
Exactly. And that's where pedagogical expertise comes in. EON Reality will need to partner with educators and instructional designers who understand how to create immersive experiences that are both engaging and effective for learning.
So it's not just about the technology itself.
No.
It's about the people behind it.
Yeah.
The content they create. And how they integrate it into the curriculum.
Exactly.
It sounds like there are a lot of moving parts.
There are.
To make this vision work.
And that brings us back to the importance of partnerships. EON Reality can't do all of this on their own. They need to collaborate with schools, governments, ed tech companies, and most importantly, teachers.
Speaking of teachers, one thing that jumped out at me in the white paper was their emphasis on teacher training.
Yes, that's crucial.
Why?
You can't just hand a teacher a VR headset and expect them to know how to use it effectively in the classroom. They need professional development and support to integrate these tools into their lessons.
And it's not just about technical skills.
No, it's also about changing their mindset and pedagogy. It's about helping them understand how to create immersive learning experiences that truly engage students and deepen their understanding.
It's a whole new approach.
Exactly. It's a whole new way of teaching and learning. And it requires a shift in how we think about education.
So we've talked about the potential benefits, the challenges, the need for partnerships, the importance of teacher training. Is there anything else we should be considering?
I think it's important to remember that this is a long-term vision. They're not expecting to transform Indian education overnight. This is a roadmap for the next decade or more.
That's a good reminder. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of a new technology and expect immediate results. But real change takes time.
It does.
Especially in a system as large and complex as education.
And it's also worth noting
Okay.
that even if EON Reality achieves all of its goals, VR and AR are not a silver bullet.
Right.
They're just tools.
Yeah.
They can't magically solve all of India's educational challenges.
Right. There's no guarantee. Yeah.
That immersive learning will lead to better outcomes for every student.
Right.
A lot depends on how these technologies are used.
That's exactly.
And integrated into the broader educational ecosystem.
We need to be realistic.
Yeah.
About the potential and the limitations of these technologies.
For sure.
They can be powerful tools for learning.
Right.
But they're not a substitute for good teaching.
Right.
A well-designed curriculum and a supportive learning environment.
Okay. So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've explored EON Reality's ambitious vision.
Right.
We've unpacked the potential benefits and challenges. And we've emphasized the importance of partnerships and teacher training.
Yeah.
But like any good deep dive, we need to consider different perspectives.
Absolutely. It's important to get a balanced view.
Yeah.
And not just drink the Kool-Aid.
Right.
There are always alternative viewpoints.
Okay.
And potential downsides to consider.
That's great.
In addition to EON Reality's white paper, we also found this really thought-provoking article titled Beyond the Hype, a critical look at the promises and pitfalls of VR/AR in education.
This article raises some crucial points that challenge the assumption that immersive learning is a guaranteed solution to all our educational woes.
And what's great is they back up their arguments with evidence and research, not just opinions.
For instance, they cite studies that show while VR and AR can create engaging experiences, they don't always translate to deeper understanding or improved retention of information.
They also point out that there's a lot of anecdotal evidence and enthusiasm surrounding immersive learning, but not enough rigorous scientific research to definitively prove its effectiveness.
And they highlight the potential for distraction.
Oh.
It's easy to get caught up.
Yeah.
In the bells and whistles of a virtual world and lose sight of the actual learning objectives.
That makes sense. I can definitely see how that could happen. It's like if you're exploring a 3D model of the human heart. You might get so fascinated by the visuals that you forget what you were supposed to be learning about its function.
Exactly. It's the same with any technology.
Yeah.
It can be a powerful tool for learning, but it can also be a distraction if it's not used thoughtfully.
So how do we strike the right balance?
That's where good instructional design and teacher training become essential.
They make a great analogy in the article. Just like giving a student a fancy calculator doesn't guarantee they'll understand math. Giving them a VR headset doesn't automatically make them a better learner.
It's about using the technology strategically to support specific learning goals and making sure teachers are equipped to integrate it effectively into their lessons.
So does this critical perspective,
I wouldn't say undermine,
completely undermine EON Reality's vision?
I think it's more of a reality check. It reminds us to be cautious. And to avoid getting swept up in the hype.
It's not a black and white situation.
No.
VR and AR have the potential to be incredible tools for learning. But they need to be implemented thoughtfully and with a clear understanding of both their benefits and their limitations.
And most importantly, we need to be realistic about what these technologies can and cannot achieve. They're not a magic bullet for fixing all of India's educational problems.
But they could be a valuable part of a broader strategy for improvement.
Exactly.
I like that framing.
Yeah.
It's about seeing these technologies as part of a larger solution. Not the solution itself.
And that's something that EON Reality seems to understand, at least based on their white paper. They're not just pushing headsets. They're trying to create a comprehensive ecosystem for immersive learning.
It's a bold undertaking for sure.
It is.
But I have to admit, after diving into all of this, I'm both excited and cautiously optimistic about the potential.
I agree. It'll be fascinating to see how this vision unfolds over the next few years.
So where does all this leave us?
Well,
we started by unpacking EON Reality's grand vision for how VR and AR could reshape education in India.
Right.
We've talked about the potential benefits, like making learning more hands-on and engaging, and even creating new pathways to jobs through those micro-universities.
But we also dug into the potential challenges.
We did.
Like bridging the digital divide,
Right.
ensuring quality content, and training teachers to use these technologies effectively.
And we explored some critical perspectives that challenge the idea that immersive learning is a guaranteed success.
It's not a silver bullet solution.
Right. It's clear that VR and AR are powerful tools
They are.
with the potential to transform how we learn.
Yeah.
But it's not as simple as just handing everyone a headset and watching the magic happen.
It's not play and play.
Exactly. It's about using these tools thoughtfully, strategically, and in a way that benefits everyone, not just a select few.
What I'm really curious about is even if EON Reality does everything right, partnerships, teacher training, data-driven results.
What if something unexpected happens?
It's always a possibility.
Like what?
With any new technology. It's like opening a Pandora's box.
Okay.
We can try to anticipate the potential downsides. But there might be things we simply can't foresee.
So it's not just about whether EON Reality can pull this off, but also about what kind of world we're creating.
Exactly, if they do.
And that's a question that goes beyond this specific company or even just education.
Okay.
It's a question about how we as a society want to use technology and what kind of future we want to build.
That's a pretty profound thought to end on.
And that's what deep dives are all about, right? Taking a bunch of information, analyzing it, and coming out the other side with new insights and questions we didn't even know we had.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest takeaway from this deep dive is that the future of learning, especially with technologies like VR and AR, is still being written.
It's an ongoing story.
It is. It's up to all of us to be informed, to ask critical questions, and to shape this future in a way that benefits everyone.
So as you continue exploring the world of immersive learning, remember that you're not just a passive observer.
You're a participant in shaping this exciting and potentially transformative field.
And on that note, we'll leave you with one final thought to ponder.
Okay.
If you could design your own ideal VR or AR learning experience, what would it be?
Good question.
And what impact would you hope to have on yourself or the world?
That's something to think about.
It is. Let us know.
Yeah.
Until next time, happy learning.